Hi all. Today we will discuss about curriculum access. So curriculum access is also termed as access to curriculum. In the previous sessions we have discussed about various aspects of curriculum and nature of curriculum. What actually a curriculum is. So a curriculum should have appropriate access to learners of different backgrounds. So in this presentation, we will see what are the problems and hindrances to access, as well as access for equity and quality, and the type of curriculum design that comprehensively address the problem of access. So the problem of access. The first problem by which learners are not able to access a curriculum is access to institution. The location of the institution or the type or the nature of institution. So regarding institution, an institution shall be in a faraway place or the learner shall be in a faraway place. In both these conditions, there will be some problem of access to that institution. Learner should not be able to reach up to the institution. There is a physical or geographical problem of access. Suppose the institution is in our locality or the nearby place, but the institution is a self-financing institution, not merely a self-financing institution, but it charges heavily on various programs. So though there is no physical or geographical distance between the learner and the institution, but the economic barrier that prevent or that that will be the problem of access then. So these are the institutional aspects, the problems with regard to institutions in access to its curriculum. Then access to programs. Each institution running different kinds of programs, especially in the background of the new education policy. Each and every higher education institution shall offer multidisciplinary programs, because when we go to a university or a college, there shall be all types of programs and a variety of courses there. Not only the terminology such as arts and science colleges, unitary universities, all those shall be revamped as multidisciplinary institutions. So this may be the existing condition cause some problem of programs. The institution will be there within our reach, physical reach, but that institution may not offer the programs of our choice. We are having specific specializations for UG as well as PG levels. In languages, we are having Malayalam main, English main, Hindi main, etc. Similarly, science also there are specific combinations. Mathematics with physics and chemistry, physics with chemistry and mathematics, biology with zoology with chemistry and botany. Such kind of combinations we are having. And this structuring of programs and restrictions of programs to particular institutions, and that create a problem of access. So we are having a very fixed combination of subjects, a main subject and two subsidiary subjects, one or two languages, or there are some double main or some some triple main, and all these combinations, all these are mandatory. So a student may not be well versed in these three combinations. That may not be their choices. So there also a problem of access. And similarly, access to courses. So suppose a student enroll for a master's level course in education, master's level program in education. That learner want to take a course in some other subjects, say for example in statistics. So it will be a difficult task. One, because both the institutions may not be physically available in any walkable distance, or there shall not be appropriate courses, variety of courses as per the interest of the learners. So that's another problem. Institutions offer courses of their choices. In most of the postgraduate programs, there shall be some set of electives. So in the list we can see some 10 to 12 electives, but the institutions usually offer 2 or 3. So all such approaches create some problem of access. In the institution side, they may not have adequate faculty to offer those elective subjects, elective courses. That may be the reason. But we have to overcome all these kind of access issues. Then another major problem of access is duration of the program. So in the recent years, by the last 5 years, only one discipline has enhanced its course duration, program duration. That is in teacher education. For secondary teacher education, as well as the master's level, both the UG and PG teacher education programs, their duration has been doubled. A 1-year program has been changed into a 2 years program. Say duration, I just cite this an example. Many such programs, the BTech, a 4-year BTech program is there. Then there are some 3-year degree programs. Now we are going to experience 4-year undergraduate honors programs, and all different kinds of programs are there. But unfortunately, many of the learners may not be possible to attend for long duration programs because of their economic condition or some other conditions. So that fixed duration, that create a problem of access. Then the entry behavior. For example, certain programs after plus 2 or higher secondary course, only those who choose the science background alone can join for some MCA program, Master of Computer Application. You know that at higher secondary level there are computer application for commerce as well as humanities groups. But there is no change for the entry behavior for graduate level computer application courses. It still follow the traditional rule. So that's another, that's also just an example. There are different programs like that. We have to rethink about. We have to modify the regulations to include maximum number of interested learners. So many learners are interested in different fields. They are unable to choose appropriate programs only because of the strict entry behavior. The learner shall have a higher secondary degree or a graduation in such and such subjects, and such discipline, such and such combination is essential. Then another problem of access is the problem of pacing. You know, in engineering courses, especially in our state, we are having so many engineering institutions in government, semi-government as well as self-finance. So because of the pacing of the programs, a majority are unsuccessful in the programs because of the pace of the program. In every program, all our programs having fixed pace. We are having very fixed semesters, fixed time duration, fixed timetable, examination pattern, everything is fixed. And all learners enrolled for a particular program may not be able to finish it up within that time frame. So that pacing, they may not be able to pace move along with their peers as well as of teachers. That's another problem of access. Then generally we are having group instruction. Because individualized instruction is not at all possible in a face-to-face or traditional classroom. But even then we are fond of that, we are always need the faces of our students in front of us together in a class. Then only we will get a punch for teaching. So that group instruction to a group, that also having problem with individual needs. Because each individual learner is unique. His or her backgrounds, needs, interests are different. They never go together because of these disparities. So any classroom is a mixed ability classroom. Say group instruction is only a matter of convenience only for general education. If we want to create some awareness, then such general classes are possible. And more than that, if we want to lead them to mastery learning, if we want to make them skilled, then this group instruction has so many limitations. So that's another problem of access. Then there are linguistic and cultural aspects that prevent access. So problem of language. In both direction. You know about Vygotsky. It's a very famous philosopher, because his philosophy later known as his psychological theories. Because of his approach, it's a philosophical approach, constructivism. The theory of constructivism is a philosophy. Knowledge is being socially constructed by learners with the help of some others. It's a philosophy. So because of the linguistic barrier, he was a Russian. That's why for decades nobody know about him. Similar is the case. We are always fighting for everything in our regional language, Malayalam. Only 6 crore or less than people in this world who know Malayalam. So, such kind of more emphasis on regional language that prevents our exposure to other areas, other countries, other parts of the country. So that's what happened in the case of Vygotsky also. Though his theories were in 1930s, the world knew about in later 1970s. And here it is in 2000 and all. So the linguistic barrier. Here also there shall be linguistic barrier. We know about specific language speaking people. In Kerala also we are having people speaking other languages, Kannada, Tamil, then the dialect of tribal people. All these are different kinds of, and there are variations in regional usages, etc. also is there. That also creates some problem of access, and as well as some cultural. That cultural or gender even creates some problems in access. Not in our state, I think in many countries, even in some so-called developed countries, certain provinces of certain countries, they insist that women only study home science and all, not the other sciences. No need that. Even now, there are people believing like that. Women are secondary. So, a gender also is a problem of access. Here also we can see after certain age, people discourage girls to go for higher education and all. The number of girls enrolled for higher education is comparatively lower than that of boys. It is not because that girls is low in achievement, but there are some cultural restrictions in different parts of the world. So all these are different problems of access, and some hindrances to access also is there. The first hindrance in our system of education is that we are following a one-size-fits-all curriculum. We are having a common curriculum for all. We are already seeing that our classrooms having mixed ability learners with difference in abilities. There will be students with special abilities, special needs, special care. There may be a very few fast learners, some average learners and slow learners. And some of them may not be interested in the courses that we are offering. All these because of this one-size-fits-all nature. So we offer a particular curriculum for all in a program, all in a class, all in a course. So that's one hindrance to access. Naturally, the disinterested will be lagging behind or dropped out. Then we demand specific inputs. Inputs means not in the form of entry behavior. Entry behavior also is there. But there are different components like the mandatory requirement for completion of a program. These and these shall be done by the learner with this particular day or date or time. That is specific input. And there are also specific teacher input. Theoretical as well as practical inputs. All these are there. Have to undergo this much percentage of practical component. That is mandatory. So all these are rigid inputs there. So hence it is conservative. The curriculum mainly is conservative. It is not flexible. It is rigid. Learner have to move along with it. Though we are categorizing it as learner-centered curriculum, it is institution-centered or discipline-centered. Discipline-centered as a whole and institution-centered then. Discipline provides certain boundaries, and within that institution again suggests certain cutoffs. So all these create some hindrances to access the curriculum comprehensively. We will access it in any way, but not comprehensively. We may not get what we intended many a time. Then the learner needs. Learner needs may not be taken care of. The curriculums are never designed, developed by incorporating or not based on the requirements of the learners, but by suggestions and findings adults made. Suppose that learner require these and these things. Say for example, a question I asked to all levels of students in my different classes from elementary to PhD. What is the purpose for which you are coming to class? I'm not trying to give the answer here. So the answer convinced me that it is not for their primary aim is not for studying, because the studying they are doing outside the class, not in the class. So they are having so many needs. So that varied needs may not be addressed properly. That also is a hindrance to access. Then access to curriculum is meant for equity and quality. So in order to ensure access, the first aspect that should be taken care of is language. The medium of instruction, the medium of expression, both are significant, and the learner shall be able to express in multiple languages, not in any single language or regional language, to make her or him competent. Then the curriculum shall be learner oriented. It should be based on the pure needs of the learner, and it shall be flexible. There shall be multiple entries and exit points. Say a 3-year program or a 4-year program. There is a suggestion, especially in the case of engineering programs. Some students drop out by completing 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or only a few are able to successfully complete the 4-year program. And for a person or a learner completing only 1 year and left out with nothing additional than his higher secondary certificate. So there shall be provisions. In the case of other graduation, postgraduate courses also is, programs also is like that. So those who complete successfully at least one semester should get certified. She or he successfully qualified these and these courses. Not the entire graduation or entire post-graduation, but a set of courses. And courses also shall be designed in such a way. So there shall be multiple entries and exit points. Then the outcomes may not be fixed. It shall be a range. So all these things will enable equity and quality along with access. And to ensure access to all in a curriculum. So the nature of curriculum shall be on the principles based on for universal design learning curriculum. That is the UDL curriculum, Universal Design Learning Curriculum. Universal design for learning means universal learning, learning for all. So the curriculum may be diversified. It should not be in the present form. It should have opportunities. It should have objectives. It should have activities. It should have outcomes which cater to the needs of learners with diversified behavior, diversified characteristics. We need to incorporate all types of learners into the curriculum. So the curriculum shall be designed on the basis of UDL curriculum, Universal Design Learning Curriculum. So in such curriculum, there shall be multiple means of representation, multiple means of expression, and multiple means of engagement with reference to the type of learners. There shall be slow learners, There shall be learners require special attention. There shall be fast learners. And there are variety of groups of learners within opted for a particular curriculum. And there shall be provision for each and every category of learners. That's the peculiarity of UDL curriculum. And there will be learner freedom. Learner will have the freedom to choose particular courses. There comes the importance of this online courses and all. Earlier I talked to you that a student of Master of Education, if he or she wish to take a course in spoken English, at present it is not possible. But it will be possible if we integrate the online courses along with the conventional programs. Then it will be possible. So that's the advantage of that. Then the UDL curriculum. The universal curriculum shall include all sections of the society, all types of learners, without any discrimination of gender or physical ability or religion, linguistics. No kind of discrimination will be there. So experimentation is going on, and in many countries they are now following a universal design learning curriculum in the line of progress towards education for all. We cannot ensure education for all by one size fit all curriculum, but only by designing our curriculum, modify our curriculum using the principles of a UDL curriculum. So that's the end of this presentation. Thanks for watching.